Lights flicker in the dimly lit hospital corridor, casting eerie shadows on the walls. It's the dead of night, and the hospital seems to hold its breath, unaware of the silent predator prowling its halls. This is the story of Charles Cullen, the Angel of Death. A seemingly ordinary nurse would transform from a caregiver to a killer.
On December 12, 2003, Charles Cullen was arrested by the police.
In his 16-year medical career, Charles Cullen left a trail of death and suspicion at several hospitals and healthcare centers before his employment at Somerset Medical Center. Each step of his journey brought him closer to his deadly actions, hinting at a pattern that would eventually be uncovered. Cullen's nursing career began at St. Barnabas Medical Center in Livingston, New Jersey. While there, he administered a lethal dose of intravenous medication to a patient, marking the beginning of his deadly path. He left St. Barnabas in January 1992 under suspicion of contaminated IV bags, a precursor to the investigations that would follow him. Moving to Warren Hospital in Phillipsburg, New Jersey, Cullen continued his deadly acts, unaliving 3 elderly women with overdoses of the heart medication digoxin. Despite suspicions raised by a patient's family about a sneaky male nurse, Cullen's actions went unproven and he moved on. At the Morristown Memorial Hospital, Cullen's poor performance led to his dismissal, but his deadly actions remained hidden. He then found work at the Hunterdon Medical Center in Flemington, New Jersey, where he claimed not to harm anyone initially. Records for this period were conveniently destroyed, leaving a gap in Cullen's deadly history. Undeterred by his past, Cullen secured a position at the Lehigh Valley Hospital in Allentown, Pennsylvania, where his suspicious behavior continued. He was accused of giving patients drugs at unscheduled times, leading to his dismissal from that facility. Cullen's employment at Easton Hospital in Pennsylvania was brief but not without incident. He unalived a patient with a lethal dose of digoxin, but internal investigations failed to definitively link him to the crime, allowing him to continue his deadly career. In a disturbing pattern, Cullen then moved to Lehigh Valley Hospital Cedar Crest in Allentown, Pennsylvania, where he continued his deadly acts, unaliving one patient and attempting to kill another. It was here that his actions were finally noticed when medication vials were found in a disposal bin. Finally, in September 2002, Cullen began working at Somerset Medical Center in Somerville, New Jersey, where he would commit his most egregious acts. His access to patient rooms and computerized records raised suspicions, leading to his eventual arrest.
Cullen began working in the critical care unit of Somerset Medical Center in Somerville, New Jersey.
In the labyrinthine halls of Somerset Medical Center, Charles Cullen's sinister acts reached their peak, shrouded in the bustling routine of hospital life. Cullen, cloaked in the guise of a compassionate nurse, stalked the wards, his syringe loaded with lethal intent. At Somerset, the first sign of Cullen's malevolence began to emerge. Some co-workers, keenly observant, sensed something amiss. Patients, too, felt the chilling touch of his actions, suspecting that his injections were more than just medical care. However, the aura of trust that enveloped hospitals, coupled with Cullen's facade of normalcy, shielded him from immediate suspicion. Cullen's reign of terror persisted until a series of suspicious deaths caught the attention of hospital staff and authorities. The somber whispers of nurses and the ominous silence that followed each of Cullen's shifts could no longer be ignored. A courageous nurse, Amy Loughran, decided to act. She reported her concerns about Cullen to her superiors. The hospital launched an internal investigation, uncovering a pattern of unexplained deaths linked to Cullen's shifts. Authorities were alerted and Cullen's actions were scrutinized. The investigation revealed a chilling reality. Cullen had been systematically administering fatal doses of medications to patients, all under the guise of providing care. The authorities, armed with evidence and testimonies from coworkers and patients, confronted Cullen. Faced with the weight of his crimes, Cullen confessed, revealing the extent of his malevolent actions. The revelation sent shockwaves through Somerset Medical Center and the broader healthcare community. Cullen's time at Somerset Medical Center marked a dark chapter in the history of healthcare. As the authorities closed in on him, Charles Cullen's facade of normalcy shattered, revealing the chilling truth of his actions. In December 2003, the walls of silence he had meticulously built around his crimes came crashing down. Facing a team of investigators, Cullen, with an air of resignation, confessed to a staggering number of killings. The magnitude of his admission was as shocking as it was horrifying. He had taken the lives of over 100 individuals. Cullen admitted to detectives that he had overdosed patients to try to spare them from being seen going into cardiac or respiratory arrest. He claimed that he could not bear to witness or to hear about attempts at saving a victim's life. He stated that he wanted to end their suffering and prevent hospital personnel from dehumanizing them, but not all of his victims were terminal patients. The impact of Cullen's confession reverberated throughout the community and beyond. The families of his victims were left reeling, grappling with the devastating realization that their loved ones had fallen victim to a serial killer disguised as a caregiver.
A courthouse in New Jersey, as Charles Cullen sat through his sentencing hearing, refusing to speak or even acknowledge the family members of people he had murdered.
In the legal proceedings that followed Charles Cullen's confession, the focus shifted to the question of his punishment. Facing the possibility of the death penalty, Cullen made a calculated decision to cooperate with authorities in exchange for a plea deal. In this deal, Cullen would avoid the death penalty and instead receive 11 consecutive life terms in prison. This decision was met with mixed reactions from the families of his victims, some of whom sought closure through the ultimate punishment, while others found solace in the certainty of knowing that Cullen would never again walk free. The plea deal also required Cullen to assist authorities in other investigations, potentially shedding light on other unsolved cases of healthcare serial killings. This provision hinted at the possibility that Cullen's reign of terror may have extended far beyond the known 29 victims. Cullen's sentencing hearing was a somber affair, marked by emotional impact statements from the families of his victims. Despite his admission of guilt, Cullen remained largely impassive, his demeanor betraying little remorse for his actions. As the judge handed down the sentence of 11 consecutive life terms, Cullen's fate was sealed. He would spend the rest of his days behind bars.